Hello Scrolls fans, welcome to Scrollscast. My name is Smokin. If you like what you see here, you can check out more on the Badger Guild YouTube website. Okay, the Badger Guild YouTube channel. We do not own the entire website of YouTube. We have today a DvD, Decay versus Decay, Lukigamer versus Blackhawk. Two players rated above 1650. We'll see how their decks compare, if they're exactly similar, but I doubt that they will be because Blackhawk has Pestis. This is a pretty strong combination, of course, with Harvester. We'll see if he's able to get that combo going. Neither player had a Ripper on round 1. Into round 2, Lukigamer has no play either. Blackhawk actually running a Mangy Rat, so another difference in his deck from the typical Decay build. He pitches his Pestis, and he can play out the Mangy Rat. It would have been better to have that on turn 1, but what can you do when your 1-drop comes out on turn 2? Lukigamer has a Blightbearer or a Brain Lice in hand to respond. He could immediately gain card advantage off the Brain Lice, but instead decides to play the more permanent Blightbearer, so it can help him gain control of the board a little bit. Blackhawk can move his Mangy Rat down and threaten to poison this Blightbearer next turn unless Lukigamer can get something in the way to block. And he has a Harvester as well, played in the middle of the field, where it's relatively safe right now. Lucky can go up to 4 resources and then play Infectious Blight perhaps on the Mangy Rat, and that's what he does. So that saves his Blightbearer's life for now and kills the rat, and the Blight will transfer to the Harvester. Note that if Blackhawk had played his Harvester down behind the rat, as many players would have done in that situation, he would now be at risk for losing it to the Blightbearer. So I'm glad for him that he played it in the middle where it can still run away to the north and escape the Blightbearer's attack. Up to 4 resources of his own, only has another Harvester to play. I say only, of course Harvester is a phenomenal scroll, but at this point in the game it's better to have a unit that can actually deal some damage on its own without waiting for other things to die. Cursemongers for Lukigamer. He pitches for Scrolls and plays out a Cursemonger behind his Blightbearer and gets 3 idle damage in. Infectious Blight ticks down 1 damage to the Harvester, a Pest Dissimilator for Blackhawk, so he seems to be running a more dedicated poison build than Lukigamer is, at least from what we've seen so far. The Great Life Stealer played in front to defend these Harvesters. Difficult to kill the Life Stealer is, so Blackhawk would love for this Infectious Blight to transfer to this Life Stealer, because the Life Stealer could hold onto it all game if he's able to continue getting attacks off and destroying units to gain health. Let's see, Damning Curse and Cursemonger are the options here, and Lukigamer decides on the Cursemonger. Blightbearer moving up to threaten these top units. Note that neither Harvester is really counted down very much. Eager Scryer in hand and a Mangy Rat as well. Soulsteel isn't useful yet, though he could Soulsteel actually his own Harvester to take out the Infectious Blight and generate a 3-1 Mire Shambler should he choose to do so. But perhaps he would rather develop his board a little bit more by playing 2 units out. Though he really can't play them anywhere that's safe. He can only play them like in this formation where one will just take this Cursemonger's attack and the other one will hope to attack next turn. Lukigamer could go up to 6 resources and play out both the Harvester and the Rot Eater. Instead pitches the Harvester and pulls a nice 2-drop. That was the right time for the Tribesman to come up. So he can go Tribesman, Rot Eater, and the next turn Witch Doctor to really solidify his board. That's a strong play. Of course, the other option is to Damning Curse something right now. He could take out either of these strong units up here to the north. But right now they're not really threatening anything that he has. A little bit of idle damage isn't super relevant right now, so he should probably choose to develop his board, and that looks to be what he's going to do. Plays out the extremely defensive Tribesman and deals some more idle damage to the 4th idle. Blackhawk has removal of his own. He could play a nice Soulsteel on this Blightbearer, which would poison the Cursemonger. That would be a pretty nice play. And then he could even respond by moving his Eager Scryer up to deal 1 damage to this Cursemonger, which would end up long-term taking it out from that 3 poison damage. So I bet that's what his play is going to be, as well as a Languid on one of these scrolls down here. Note that he has Reaping Mask. That is a phenomenal scroll to play on your Eager Scryer if he's able to do so. Let's see, he chooses, instead of taking out the Blightbearer, to Languid the Infectious Blight away. That's something we talked about last turn, and that's not a bad play. I may have been tempted to take out these 2 units instead, but I can respect this play, especially since this Eager Scryer is able to effectively take out the Blightbearer by taking it down to 1 health. It won't get another attack off anyway. Lukigamer chooses not to go up to Witch Doctor mana, instead resources. You can tell that I play a lot of MTG. Sacrifices for scrolls instead, has an Oblivion Seeker. What can he do here? He can move up to the middle and establish some presence there, and that's what he does. These units aren't attacking right now. There's a Damning Curse on the Harvester that takes out... Oh, that was clever played. What he did there is he Curse-mongered, cursed the Eager Scryer, then Damning Curse, which took out the Blightbearer, pumping his Rot Eater, and poisoning the Eager Scryer. Very nicely done. Well timed on that play. So Blackhawk, seeing what he can do to recover from that, and just plays out a Witch Doctor. Not a bad play at all. Lifestealer Witch Doctor is really difficult to get through. Curse is going to help with that, though. If Blackhawk had allowed that Infectious Blight to stay on with the double Cursemonger, Blackhawk would probably find his units dying very quickly. So that Soul Steal on the Harvester looking to be a pretty decent play after all. Witch Doctor of Lukigamer's own. He doesn't play anything in front of it. There's nothing a Decay deck can really do to surprise, get down here and kill it. Pitches for resources to go up to Reaping Mask resources, so he's up to 7. What is he going to play that on? He could play it on his Cursed Witch Doctor. He needs to play it because he really sacrificed a lot to get up to those resources. He needs to do something. Could play it on the Lifestealer. Instead plays it on the Mire Shambler, and it shambles down and deals 6 damage to the Tribesman. 3 damage still would have been enough to kill it, but I suppose at least it will survive the Cursemonger's attack. A 6/4 Mire Shambler. I don't know that I've ever seen a Shambler that big. Let's see, what can he do here? We see a Languid on the Witch Doctor, reducing its ability to damage idols, though it'll still be able to take out the second idol, so I don't know that that Languid was super relevant, at least right now, but of course it's still good to get it out there, and he cantrips off of it as well. A second curse played on the Witch Doctor, so any sort of poison effect will take it out instantly. Let's see, still has 3 resources, could drop a Blightbearer up there to defend that idol. Let's see, no, he does decide to play the Blightbearer down, and then he moves to threaten the middle row. So that's going to force Blackhawk to keep his units up top, not going to be able to put them in a aggressive position, at least safely. Note that he needs to do something to save this large Shambler's life should he want to get another attack off with it, and I think that he would, because that's a lot of power to just waste on one attack on a Tribesman. Of course, the Reaping Mask still has the unstable effect, and you do draw a scroll off of it, so I forgot about that earlier, so he cantripped off of it. Let's see, lots of units played out. Rot Eater, Ripper, Viscera Sage, plays his whole hand out. Excuse me. The Ripper will die with pretty much unceremoniously, but the Viscera Sage, if it is killed, will spawn a Husk, and then note that the second idol was taken out as well. Plenty of options for Lukigamer to play. He could try to use Soul Steal to take out one of these units, but he doesn't necessarily need to because he can move to attack them anyway. But the risk he's taking is if he does move up to the middle, the Lifestealer is ready to attack. So he could maybe Damning Curse on the Lifestealer to take it out now so that he can safely move up and only the angry large Shambler would be dealing damage to him next turn. He could Rot Eater into Soul Steal. He could Ilmire Witch Doctor and establish a second strong defensive position. Here's the Soul Steal, so that takes out the Ripper. Another Shambler spawned up north. Has Rot Eater resources. The key decision this turn is whether or not he moves up. If he wants to get efficiency out of his... he could just deal 9 damage to this idol by moving them down and kind of dancing everything. But he chooses instead to just go ahead and engage. He's confident that Blackhawk won't have a combat trick to take out a unit and risk the life of the Witch Doctor. He could probably wants to curse something as well. Running out of time on his clock. Where's the curse going to go? On the Rot Eater. Not a bad play there. Good movement on the Blightbearer as well. So the Witch Doctor showing her power. Just basically losing just the Viscera Sage to soak up 9 damage from a 2-resource scroll. Not a lot for Blackhawk this turn. He has 2 units he can play at least, so that's something. Needs to get... See, if he would have had some sort of removal for this Cursemonger, that would have been ideal. Basically, Damning Curse would have been the the answer there. Then he could have taken out the Husk with the Lifestealer and then get the Shambler in to kill off the Witch Doctor. Unable to do so. Instead, just having his units kill a few of his opponent's units. The Blightbearer goes down, spawning Husk and poisoning the Mire Shambler. Lukigamer could go up to Necrogeddon resources and throw everything at his opponent. I don't know that that's necessary right now. He would do some serious damage with it, but instead just goes ahead and sacrifices it. So in hand, only 6 resources to work with. Could go Blightbearer, Harvester. This is the point in the game where Harvester really shines. So many things are going to be dying now. Note that this Husk can move up and deal 3 damage to the Mire Shambler, and then it will die from poison. So he did get quite a bit of value out of this Reaping Mask. Probably one of the better Reaping Masks I've seen. A lot of folks play it but are having a hard time getting it to actually be useful. He'll get 3 unstable damage. He drew 2 scrolls off of it. He took out 2 creatures. So that's pretty good for a 7-cost scroll. Here's a Daemon Curse to go ahead and take out the double cursed Witch Doctor, making all of Blackhawk's units more vulnerable. Moves everything together and deals 3 damage to the Shambler, who shambles his last shamble into hell. Searing Shackles is not particularly useful in this situation, so it is sacrificed. Daemon Curse for Blackhawk, it's now 6 resources. This is the 3rd one he's had the opportunity to play. He could go ahead and take out this centrally important Witch Doctor, but then that would just grow both of these Rot Eaters, and that's what he does. I think that might have been the right play there. He didn't really have a great play to choose instead. He can take out, with this Rot Eater, the his Lukigamer's top Rot Eater. Too many Rot Eaters on this board. I'm having a hard time keeping them straight. I need to give them all names. And then plays a Ripper intelligently in front so that Rot Eater number 3 can't move up to take out Rot Eater number 1 over here. And this Rot Eater is up to an 8/6. Can't get any idle hits off of on it. The only thing it can do, it could take out this Lifestealer, and that's pretty powerful on its own with the help of the Cursemonger finishing off the Eager Scryer. Lukigamer still sacrificing for scrolls, up to 6, still only on 6 resources, but with this deck he can make a lot of plays off of 6. Still has that Harvester option. I'd like to see that come out soon because I think a Harvester attack could seal the game for Lukigamer, and 2 units are set to die this turn already. So I would like to see Harvester and then maybe a Rot Eater, and he chooses to play the Rot Eater, so Rot Eater, Harvester, more Rot Eaters on the board, 2 units die, the Harvester is already down to 3. So what can Blackhawk do to claw back into this game? He's going to need to get a favorable combat trade of some sort. He has 7 resources to play with. Soulsteel will give him a little bit of advantage, so that's a start. And the Cursemonger is, of course, a perfect target for that. But perhaps he should save that for next turn and instead play Lifestealer Loyal Darkling to get some more stuff on the board. He needs, of course, to be careful not to count down this Harvester too much. And there's the Darkling played in the middle where it will beef up the Rot Eater if it should perish. And then there's the Lifestealer. Okay, so that is played in back. Not concerned about losing his Darkling to the Husk, and perhaps he should not be. Infectious Blight for Lukigamer. This is the 2nd one I think that he's had the opportunity to play, and it's perfectly timed to take out the cursed Rot Eater. So no matter what happens, that Rot Eater is going to die. 3 resources in the bank for Lukigamer. He sacrificed up to 7 to make the double play here. So we'll see Blightbearer come down. It could go to the top. It could go down low. Perhaps up top is the place to put it so it's in position to threaten more units. Needs to think about Rot Eater placement. Needs to think about Husk placement so that he can get the maximum benefit should these Husks die. Note the 2 attacking units for his opponent right now. Blightbearer played right in front, so he's okay having his units get poisoned. Should Blackhawk be able to kill the Blightbearer, instead choosing to, but of course the upside to playing the Blightbearer there is that he can defend the Cursemonger from the Ripper. What can Blackhawk do here? Note that Soulsteel is still a decent play, but it would count down the Harvester to 0, so that is super risky should he decide to do it. Perhaps a Harvester of his own would be the play instead, and he plays it down to the bottom. He'll need to play something to defend it from this angry Rot Eater. Maybe the Blightbearer in front. Moves the Ripper to take out a Husk, which will grow, importantly, the Rot Eater to 4 attack, which is critical because, of course, this Harvester has 4 health, and his potential defensive play, the Blightbearer, has 4 health as well. So that's pretty important. Does not play the Blightbearer, instead Soul Steal, so that's going to trigger not only the growth of the Rot Eater, but of course the Harvester down to 0 countdown. Lukigamer is poised to have a super strong turn. What can Blackhawk do about this? I don't see a way he can have this Harvester survive with how he placed it. I was thinking maybe he slips it behind the Lifestealer, but even then the ticking down Harvester would be able to kill it. So I think he just needs to accept that he's going to lose pretty much everything that he has. Everything but this lonely Mire Shambler is set to die, and even with this Brain Lice, I see a board wipe coming on this very turn. The only downside of the board wipe for Lukigamer is he would lose the Infectious Blight, but I think that is worth it to take everything out. Has 7 resources, so he could kill... He couldn't get out the Lifestealer and play Brain Lice. Interesting here, he is not going to let his Rot Eater kill the Blightbearer, instead taking out the Mire Shambler. The Brain Lice will, of course... Oh, and the double Brain Lice will do that very nicely. So he found a way to wipe the board even without poisoning his own units. Everything of Blackhawk's is wiped, and that's going to be it. Blackhawk sees the writing on the wall, says GG, and moves on with his life. Excellent turn by Lukigamer, excellent play, and excellent positioning throughout. This has been Smokin' with Scrollscast. This was an excellent DVD that I enjoyed watching. You can catch more on the Badger Guild YouTube channel. Thank you for watching.